Hi everybody, Johnny here. Hope you're doing great today. You can find more good math at jmathpage.com. Today we're looking at multiplying by 4's, and today we're going to be thinking about it in terms of repeated addition. Repeated addition is one way to think about multiplication. It's simply just adding the same number again and again and again. Maybe you've seen tables like this before. So 1 times 4, 2 times 4, 3 times 4, 4 times 4, 5 times 4, 6 times 4, 7 times 4, 8 times 4, 9 times 4, and we'll stop today at 10 times 4. So your times tables. And maybe you're working to memorize these. But today we're going to use repeated addition to think about it. How to do multiplication in a good way. So let's think about that for a moment. Repeated addition, what does that mean? Well, I have 1 times 4. I think that means that if I'm thinking about repeated addition, I'm going to add 4 one time. What does it mean for 2 times 4? Well, I think that means I'm going to add 4 2 times. So I'll need to have 2 4's. What about 3 times 4? Well, I'll add 4 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And 4 times 4, I'll add 4 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 times 4, well, I'll add 4 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lot of 4's. What about 6 times 4? Well, I'll add 4 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what about 7 times 4? Well, I'll add 4 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 8 times 4, let's add 4 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 9 times 4, let's add 4 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And last, 4 10 times. Let's add 4 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. What a lot of 4's there. Now I know with repeated addition, I'm going to have to add all of these numbers across. So I'll have to add 4 3 times for 3 times 4. I'll have to add 4 4 times for 4 times 4. I'll have to add 4 9 times for 9 times 4. That's a lot of work. Well, we might as well get started. Let's start at the top. I think that will be the easiest. If I have to add 4 just one time, I just have 4. That's pretty easy. If I have to add 4 2 times, I start with my first 4 and then I add a second 4. And I know that 4 and 4 more, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I add them together, that's going to make 8. What about 3 times 4? Well, I'll have 3 4's. And I know that 4 and 4 is 8. I'll have to add on one more 4, so I'll go from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3 times 4, adding 3 4's will give us 12. Okay, so far so good. What about 4 times 4? Well, here are my 4 4's. I know that 3 4's is 12. So let's add on 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 altogether. And 5 4s, 5 times 4, a long line of 4s here. I know that 4 4s is 16. Let's add one more 4. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we know that 5 4s is 20. Now, I could go on like that, but it could just go on and on. So maybe I'm going to do it a little differently just to make it interesting. So let's think about 6 times 4. I have my 6 4s here, but I could also think about them in terms of groups. I could have one group of 3 4s and another group of 3 4s. Let's think about that for a moment. One good reason to do that is because I already know what 3 4s is. So if I go up here, 3 times 4 is 12. So I know these 3 4s are also 12. What about these 3 4s? Well, if these 3 4s were 12, then these 3 4s also have to be 12. Okay, so what does that tell me? It tells me that 6 times 4 is the same as 12 and 12 more. 12 and 12 more. So if I think about that, that's 10 and 10, 20, and 2 and 2 is 4. 20 and 4 makes 24. Let's look at 7 times 4. A lot of sevens, a lot of 4s here. Let's break it down again. So instead of by 3s, let's go ahead and make this first group by 4 and this second group by 3. Now I have 4 4s here, and how much is that? Well, if I go up here, I can see that 4 4s was 16. So 4 4s here should also be 16. Now I have my 3 4s again, and I know from the last time I worked with 3 4s that it should be 12. Let's double check. 3 times 4 is 12. So 3 4s is 12. So what does this tell me? It tells me that 7 times 4 is the same as 16 and 12 more. 16 and 12 more. Well, 10 and 10 is 20. 6 plus 2 is 8. So this one will have to be 28. What about 8 times 4? Well, here are my 8 4s. Let's break them down into groups. Here's one group of 4. And here's another group of 4. So I have a group of 4 4s. If I go up here, I know that 4 4s make 16. So these 4 4s will also make 16, just like in our last problem. And if these 4 4s make 16, then these 4 4s also make 16. So what does that tell us about 8 times 4? It tells us that 8 times 4 is the same as 16 and 16 more. 16 and 16 more. Well, I have 10 and 10 is 20, 6 and 6 is 12, so 20 and 12 make 32. What about 9 times 4? Well, I think I'm going to make a bigger chunk first. Let's take 5 4s, which leaves us with 4 4s left over. So 5 4s here is the same as 5 4s here, and that gives us 20. So these 5 4s make 20, and these 4 4s, well, we know they make 16, because we can see up here as well, 4 4s make 16. So let's go ahead and make these also 16. What does this tell us about 9 times 4? It tells us that 9 times 4 is the same as 20 and 16 more. So 20 and 16 more. Well, 20 and 10 is 30, and 6 more make 36. The last one, 10 times 4. Let's make these into 2 even groups of 5. So I have 5 4s here, and I know that they should be 20 from the last time we did this, but I also can see from 5 times 4 up here that 5 4s makes 20. So we know 5 4s makes 20, and if these 5 4s make 20, we also know that these 5 4s also make 20. So what does this tell us? It tells us that 10 times 4 is the same as 20 and 20 more. And 20 and 20 more gives us 40. That's all well and good. Let's go back to our table over here. Now we can say 1 times 4, using repeated addition, not much repeating here. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4, if we look across on our table, 2 times 4 equals 8. Let's make sure I get all these down. We have a little visitor here today. 3 times 4 equals, looking over here, we see that 3 times 4 equals 12. 4 times 4 equals 16. 5 times 4 equals 20. 6 times 4 equals 24. 7 times 4 equals 28. 8 times 4 equals 32. 9 times 4 equals 36. 10 times 4 equals 40. Now all of these multiples of 4 came about from repeated addition. And we can see our multiples of 4 now. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. Just like here. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. We've done well so far, but here's a little challenge for you. What happens if I take these away? They're all gone now. What I want you to do is I want you to think about them again. This time I want you to think about them for yourself. Now you can look over at the chart here to help you think about what they might be, but I'm going to call each one of them out. So let's try them out. 1 times 4 equals 2 times 4 equals 3 times 4 equals 4 times 4 equals 5 times 4 equals 6 times 4 equals 7 times 4 equals 8 times 4 equals 9 times 4 equals 10 times 4 equals. How'd you do? I bet you did pretty well. Now I'm going to do the same, but this time I'm going to mix them up. Are you ready? 4 times 4 equals 7 times 4 equals 3 times 4 equals 8 times 4 equals 2 times 4 equals 9 times 4 equals 1 times 4 equals 10 times 4 equals 5 times 4 equals 6 times 4 equals. How'd you do that time? Let's write them in to see what we have. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 4 equals 20. 6 times 4 equals 24. 7 times 4 equals 28. 8 times 4 equals 32. 9 times 4 equals 36. And 10 times 4 equals 40. Now, today we looked at multiplying by 4's using repeated addition. Hopefully, you can see by using repeated addition ways to think about the multiplication for your multiples of 4. I hope this was helpful.